Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds. I'm Ted, and today I'm hanging out with
Nerd Steve.
And today we're going to talk about mastering your mental dump stats. Jump down in the description below where you can sign up for Nerdarchy, the newsletter. It's a great way to get gaming tips, as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy.
This video is brought to you by Nerdarchy's ugly Christmas sweater, which you can see right here, and you can find in the description below. We had a fan ask us about how do you roleplay contrasting mental stats.
Right.
Example being high charisma, low intelligence, vice versa. High intelligence, low wisdom. Or high, vice versa with that as well.
Right. So I spent some time once I read this of trying to come up with some character types that are popular or known about today using those examples. So I was like, all right, high intelligence, low charisma. The first name that popped into my head was Gregory House from House MD, the TV show. He's really smart when it comes to all the medical stuff, but he's super arrogant. Nobody likes him. He's got one friend throughout the entire show, and he fucks with him. He dicks around with him on so many different situations. So it's like, it takes something special to really like this guy.
Yeah, Doctor Strange is the same way. Stephen Strange is also very cerebral and off-putting to other people. That is actually very popular trope, and it just happens in real life too. Just those people operate on a different level. A ton of trouble relating to people that aren't as smart as they are. So that would absolutely be low charisma.
Another example that they talked about was high charisma and low intelligence or wisdom. And what popped into my head was Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. He even laughs at Belle for reading books. But yet everybody, except Belle in town, loves him. He's worshipped by some of the people because he's so pretty and so likable and whatever have you.
Characters that are just super likable, they don't actually have to have redeeming mental stats.
Right.
They don't necessarily go hand in hand. It's just people like that person.
So, honestly, you can just take, all right, what does it mean when I'm high on a stat? What does it mean when I'm low on a stat? And then you can take those things. They don't become mutually exclusive. You can be incredibly perceptive, but not intelligent. You can have a high wisdom and low intelligence. All right, yeah, I'm spiritual, but I'm dumb as a brick. All right, that's fine. I can be likable and aloof.
Right, the high wisdom, it could be anything from you just have a lot of common sense to you're just super perceptive about what's going on around you. You may not have the ability to process that information, but you know what's going on around you. The low stats are far easy to deal with than the higher stats.
Right.
I think in a role-playing game, it's much easier to dumb down than it is to go the other way. So that part should always be fairly simple. It's just a matter of showing some restraint at the table. And not jumping in there and holding back when you have good ideas if you're playing a low intelligence character, or
I've walked down that road where I look back and I'm like, there's times that I had characters that I dumped my mentals all the time because I played fightery type characters, and
right.
I wound up being the party leader. I'm like, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah, or playing a low charisma character where your characters are kind of rude or it can be intrusive. So the trick with that one is to play that one without annoying the rest of the party.
Yeah, you have to tread lightly with your RP. You don't want to overdo it
and become disruptive.
And become disruptive, or make the players like, dude, can you just make a new character?
or they get to the point where they're like, can you just not come back?
Well, there's that as well. Somebody's like, all right, dude, up his charisma for him.
I mean, you could literally, a low wisdom, you could literally just not pay attention at the table as much as you might normally, and that would adequately portray that character, really. Huh, what? Because legitimately, that's kind of what a low wisdom is a lot of times. Or you could
daydreamers.
Yeah, exactly. Or you could just be really obtuse and not get what's going on around you. And that would be a really good example of a very cerebral character. Like, they're trapped in their head all the time, so they don't bother paying attention to their surroundings.
Right. That's nothing important. Okay, I'll deal with that later.
Like, literally, like, you could go the same way, too, with, like, describing high intelligence, low dex, where you're kind of fumbling around and tripping over stuff all the time just because you don't pay attention. It's not even your hand-eye coordination. It's just, your
brain's otherwise occupied.
You're just detached from your surroundings by so much. So, yeah, this one's fairly easy. But we had the request, so we figured we'd throw it out there. Why don't you help out a fellow Nerdarchy fan in the comments below and tell us how you would play these contrasts in personality? While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
You can follow us on Instagram.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.